Good day, everyone, and sorry for not streaming for a couple of days. I wasn't able to find the time, but today I wanted to continue with my text creation and drawing algorithm. So, as you can see, this is in my game, and the game, as you might know, should have minimal knowledge about the engine. We just kind of want to call a function for initializing the string and then drawing it. So that's kind of what I want to do here. And the reason for that, again, is we might want to use OpenGL or we might want to use DirectX, possibly Vulkan, like, I don't know. Probably not Vulkan, but, anyway, not for this project, but, thinking about the future, right? So we don't really want to involve ourselves with the details within the game. So we're going to create that. We're going to draw it. Now you might say, well, why are you not just having, whatever you can put in here and draw that? Well, the reason for that is, as you have seen in the last couple of days, the glyph atlas that you end up with might not be complete. Now, the alternative would be to just render all the glyphs that are in the font, but you might not want to do that for 1,000 characters, 2,000 characters when you're only going to be using 40 of them, right? So I think that this is a pretty decent alternative. I have made some updates to the JSON off screen or off stream. So if you want to check this out, you can go to my GitLab. But essentially, right now I'm having the token position and count. And you also have a continue function. So if you would run out of tokens, this is returned, this error message, or not message, but like this error code. You can read it here, -1. So if we run out of tokens, well, good thing is we can just kind of expand the memory. So either by allocating and then committing more memory, so you have continuous memory where you're just committing more and more, or you can mem copy and not lose the work that you have done. It's probably faster to mem copy than to just run the cycle over, but it might depend. So you have both options available. This is really nice because it literally continues from where it ended. So if this runs out of tokens, I can just detect that, increase the memory assigned, and then I just call tokenize continue, and it doesn't have to parse anything that was going before. You can see here I'm grabbing the first one, but then I'm immediately just going back into the recurse function and starting at the token position where I ended right here. So that's pretty nice, I think. Now, again, this is not entirely tested. In fact, it's pretty untested, but it does seem to work for the cases that I've tried it with. Where is the implementation there? I know this is my own library, but I'm still not going to put it into my game, I think, because I don't really want to include string and stdlib assert, and I don't want to have to. I don't want to define them myself in a bunch of places, so I'm just gonna leave that. What I am gonna do, however, is if you have seen here, I have TFL JSON resolve, I renamed this one. So it's not parse, it's resolve. But it takes a command. And this is the command I'm going to put in here. And that is what's going to go, or well, do I want to include this in the game? Because this is only the implementation. All these functions are kind of fine. Maybe I do want to include not the implementation, but maybe I was smarter than I was thinking I was. We can include this without the implementation, and now we have access to the tokens and the function calls. But the implementation is going to be in the main one here. Do I really have to type stuff them? No. So I can, because I have define. Here. No, that's sort. Here's my JSON. So I can define this also. And actually, I might want to do this in the header. I'm not sure because I'm going to undefine these right after. So does that mean, because, okay, I have, I'm still like kind of thinking about how to implement this or how to design the API. The issue I'm having is the following. So as you can see here, my compile command is calling main C and game C. Those are my two translation units. And for each translation unit, I'm including my sort or my JSON. The issue is if I'm defining this here, then I kind of need to do the same in here because otherwise they're going to be different. Now I could not define them, not having this custom int. And also this needs to have like that. This is in the implementation in sort. So that's fine. I could make a separate file for it and just include that, but it seems kind of excessive. So I could go here. Let's see. Let's try the solution out. Define, undefine. Too many errors. Shader. Huh? Why is it called shader? What's the error? Give me one example of an error. Anyway, so then we can just include shared. And actually, let me even rename that to TFL shared. So what was this called? Yep. it's not used directly, but it is including things that are used. So I'm not sure why it's like that. Oh. So if this is a token, and I'm including that already, does not return a value. Okay. So the question is, what should I do exactly? I'm reading the file. All of this is in the game, in the engine, right? We are creating the font, alphabet, whatever that we want to draw. So we do this thing where we read the JSON, we, for the given language, we parse all of the text in here. And we store it in some array. And then we load the font and we initialize the alphabet. What this is doing, font render. So this is actually creating the textures that we are assigning into memory. But it doesn't. Here's the bitmaps. It renders them, but it never really puts them anywhere. files. So for each file, we are initializing this for each size. But it doesn't go anywhere. So this is probably much better with a single file. It also means that the memory footprint will be smaller. Yeah. Does it matter? I think no. Where does this go? Goes nowhere. Let's get rid of that completely. This is new. It's very, very simple. Instead of doing this for I, for J, for K, I'm just doing like for some number of times that is an I32, just iterate with this iterator. So then I can just fill in the count and the iterator and then use it. So that's much nicer for me to write than for I, for J, for K all the time. Yeah, some kind of metadata. We're making this, and then where does it go? Do I not store it somewhere? I think this should be part of the parameters. And maybe they were last time. That's in the game header. So yeah. We are getting that. I'm probably just like turning it back to the code that it was before. Font init. Should they be 0 initialized? I'm not sure. It's a question for this function. All the way down there. This BMP is allocated on the arena. So this is 0 initialized. Vertex font. Also, and the count, might as well. So now we should get the bitmaps, vertices, and counts for each individual font. Too few arguments. So which one did we miss? VF. Ah. So I need to do something about this. Store it. And it's all this stuff. Text create. We are initializing initializing. Why am I not creating? Text. That's for a specific string. That's not what I want. I want to create the font with the bitmaps and everything. This thing. VBO ID. Buffer create. Font size count. Well, that would be size count. This one. So I think we have to do a font GFX or FX. It's a star. Oof. I don't want it to be star. Because if it's a star, I have to allocate it somewhere. I don't want to allocate it. It's just a bunch of integers. Oh well. I guess let's do it. So arena alloc static. So we are assigning it backwards, so to say. And then we can use this FX VBO ID. We need I really don't have the graphics. I would put it. I don't know. I don't know, man. This is. I'm complaining about this every time, but it's a hard choice. Like, what is the best thing to do? I will do that for now. And push the decision to another day. So we have VBO ID. Texture ID. Same thing here. I think that's enough. For that font, everything seems to be in order. Let's take a look at these errors. Undeclared. Why? It's here, dude. Oh, I need to. I do need to define that. That is true. I would have done that if it would have told me. So let's undefine them. That should solve it. So we can come in here, main FX, it was called. We have a lot of breaks. So let's just see here what happens. Watch one. Oops. Bitmaps. 220. Why 220 though? Shouldn't they be like 256? And shouldn't they get larger and larger? Well, user mode data prevention. Mm-hmm. I don't think this buffer is, or this, I don't think this uh, bitmap is accurate. So what is actually in here? You know what? We have the font file. Looks good. Font. Shouldn't that be 0 or something? Oh, no. It shouldn't, because I did just assign it. ID count, scale. Okay. Let me grab an apple and come back. I actually grabbed 2. They're rather small, but they were cheap. So let's see what's going on here. I'm pretty sure I can debug with one hand. Not that I ever tried. So this looks decent. $40 bliss. And we copy that over to the font. 40 of them. There's no multiplier, but whatever. Font sizes. We don't store it. Locals. Font sizes. So it's got to be something with rendering. Now, hold on. For each font we do this. But I'm only rendering this once. The max texture size is 0. How did that happen? That might be what's causing the issue. $213. Texture side. Yeah, that's the issue. We just never break and assign this. Well, that's a rather easy fix. Okay. Look at that. 64, 128, 256, and 512. Exactly what I would expect. It's kind of a dumb mistake. I keep making that mistake. But once the basics have been nailed down, it's not going to be a problem anymore. Hmm. Why is that not 0 initialized? Why is it not 0 initialized? What is this? These are all zeros. I don't get it. It's not 0 initialized. Oh, did I already allocate it? I did. In the static arena. State arena. Well, I completely forget about that. But that's all right. We will just delete the code I just wrote. I would expect the first VBO ID to be 0. And for the next one, yeah, so there's actually a bunch of them. 20 means 21. 7 times 3. And then what did I need to set up? So we have the graphics. Is it something? Yeah. Okay, this is already set up. That's good. Sorry for that. I was really hungry. I'm gonna step away and grab a chewing gum as well because they are pretty sour, and I don't want it to affect my teeth too much. But that is good. I think that's all I need. Then all I really need to do is have some kind of function. And where should I put it? Not in the main C. I need another function to do basically what I've been doing here. And I feel like that's a job for main. I don't really want to have function calls to specific APIs or libraries. Just main is enough. So this text create, that's one part of the puzzle. It's creating the shaping, but then we have to allocate the memory for it. And that's the job for OpenGL or whatever graphics API we're going to be using. Like I'm using OpenGL, but you know what I mean. So let's open up main again. Or maybe I32 just not static. I don't want to call it draw. What are the functions here? Arena pop. That's also going to be pushed to a different file eventually, I think. Timestamp. So this is called text create. Maybe it shouldn't be. I swear the hardest thing in programming is naming things. Create. And well, the game is not going to have it's not going to have it's not going to include main. That's another issue. Yeah, be right back. I'm just going to grab some chewing gums. All right. So I feel a little bit silly because I just realized I already solved this problem. And that is by just having function pointers. What was it? Something like, yeah, global. I feel like it should be part of the OS. Or maybe bool. What else do I need? So obviously I should rename this one. Shape text, shape string. Font shape. Well, I definitely need a state here. And the state has the JSON. JSON file. I'm not really sure. Yeah. Here we go. Hmm. Where does this file go? Do I need it here? Can I unload the file? I need the JSON. That's probably worth putting in here. I don't know why I have this. I think that's for later. I don't know if this is useful anymore. Byte size width. Well, the number one thing I need is the file. So I need the JSON file, number one. Assets. Did I add anything to the assets? I loaded TTF. Let's keep them in memory for now, but I don't know if that's gonna fuck up KB or if it makes its own copy. Either way, it doesn't really make a huge difference to me. But the JSON is an asset, and I need the JSON. Text and font. Ah. Really? So this should go into the static arena. Let's make sure that we're doing the right thing here. And that I don't forget something different. Yeah. It will be, I swear, it will be good. There we go. So we'll read the file, nothing is different there, but in state assets, all zeros, that's very good. Zero count. Now suddenly, boom, we have it right there. So that means we can get the string. We can get the string from the JSON. So that would be JSON. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if I coughed into the microphone. So I can reuse these tokens I can also push this to my assets as a file. A file doesn't have to be read from an actual file. I could just do this where I do arena alloc state static. The size is size of EFL JSON token times 256. Man, I think I might need to go out with my dogs. I don't want to make so many breaks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go out with them. So this weekend to do. Yeah, I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. I am back. Sorry so much about that. So I can allocate this on the static arena. I can create a file out of that. Or can I? Name size type. So the name, I guess we can agree. Might be worth making a function for this. So we have read file, load file, read file. We can also create file. So then destination. This is not really used anywhere, I think. And I might want to rewrite that. So what would we do? File type. token file. Then I don't know the count. Should I just maybe... Mm, see, I don't really want to have this pointer because then I have to keep track of it. I could do something like that. Makes sense. token file. So maybe I rename it again. Okay. Right now I know it's going to be 1, but it's not going to be 1 forever. So I don't know if I want to search for it by name or if I want to have a unique offset because it's static anyway. I know I'm going to forget this. So it's the file actually. He's so soft because we washed him yesterday. And he's just hungry. Where was I? He's just hungry. Like, he had breakfast. I guess it was about 12 hours ago. And we were just outside. So he just wants to eat. So I guess let's just verify that we get what we are expecting. So text create. Where's game C? Here we go. Undeclared. Oh, I see. Int. What? Oh no. Well, so that means maybe I can just do this. Or I can do this. How is that incompatible? Like, I don't get this about C. So I think the way I would solve that is by not being lazy and do this. And now it works. I don't want to do that for every single struct. So, all right. I think that should work. Oh. Ah. Well, no. Undefined symbol load file. Where? Oh, I see. Well, let's check create file, by the way. Oh. So of course it's not set up yet. Also, I forget to set the I forget to set the function pointer. So that's in here. Incompatible function, really? Bool. Now I'm sure I'm gonna be this is gonna run before I set up my yeah. So that's the second issue. Maybe probably I want the game to be the last thing to be initialized. But then what am I actually initializing here? Well, I guess the answer is we don't. Why is it even void? Should be state. No, I have state. State is defined. Oops. It's funny, you need init and setup, but I think that's the way it's going to have to be. Let's see what we got. Token file. Oh, this should be file create, by the way. I like my Yoda style of programming. So file create, we are returning the file, obviously. Here we go. It's tokens, it's large. And there's an array of with data. Oh. Read up. It's really confusing to me sometimes that the assert has to pass, not that it's like an if. I know that I could change that, but I don't really want to. It's just interesting that it's like that. So let's just go all the way like here or something. Now I can go to state, assets, files. This is the JSON file. And these are the JSON tokens. And it should be in data. Oof. This is wrong. Where did we go wrong? Oh, I think I know why. Yep, this looks good. So let's see what we got. file. Invalid. All right. It's just a pointer error. So then we can grab Yeah, I'm gonna grab this in a better way. Right now, I'm just kind of bootstrapping it. So let's see, we are having the tokens. That's the tokens file. I don't really need that. Tokens jtalk dot tokens count. I don't care about how many left. And maybe I should put that somewhere, you know? I'm getting bored of this music right now. Let's see. What I could listen to. Okay. So we're having, we can resolve this. It's another token. And if we get the token, then we're kind of in the golden zone. Now, of course, the command I gave is test. That doesn't really, that's not going to be anything. It's not going to be found. But we open up the JSON. And the game. Let's find the thing. Where is it? Here. So we can go to data. Zero. Intro. Zero. Body. And I think that should be able to be found. And it is. So now, see, this is all coming together right now. So yeah, we're throwing in an assert there. And this is very nice that I can just like throw out the command for the thing that I'm looking for. So I can instantly see. And then what do we do? I guess this shape. Font ID. I guess that should come from the game. Text. No, we don't need it, I think. What is in text again? Byte size, width, layout. I mean, like maybe possibly, but this is of no interest to me. This is of no interest. So maybe I just remove it, but then it's not text anymore. And then it's like styling. So we have the size, layout, use. That's for later, maybe. Layout, size, width. And the style also has the font, I would say. So we just have a style. And that is enough. String shape. So we need a buffer for that. No? So I call it the font create right now, or font shape. Okay. So yeah, style. Let's just see what's going on here. Text, string, data. So I could throw that in there. Byte size. That makes no difference to me. Then here, I can do a text. And we are creating the style. Or we are doing something style. Or maybe it just doesn't make sense. Let's just string style. Because I can just do string here. And then I say, well, the data is start for the JSON file. And the size is the talk end minus talk start. And it's a character, of course. Maybe that's another function I will be making eventually. But, you know, I'm just kind of exploring. So if we create a string like that, then we get the style. and the string. Const. I'd say this is a const. I don't think I ever want to do something with that. So this is also a const. And it's so small. Maybe I just pass it in as a copy. The compiler is going to optimize it anyway. But we have text then. State fonts. String data. Well, this is now text. Let's call it stir. Stir.data and stir.size. Does it even matter? Like, honestly, I feel like it doesn't really matter. And do I add const here everywhere? Like this. Like, do I really do that? Seems kind of dumb. Every way is bad. I'm going to think about that. I think it has literally, it makes literally no difference because the compiler is just optimizing it anyway. Yeah. Let's go with this. Well, just for consistency's sake. I've been doing this so far. I feel like I'm starting to overthink a little bit. So that's it for this function. we return a shape buffer. The shape buffer is allocated here with my arena. You want, yeah, double pointer. What is wrong with the style? Fair enough. Buffer count. Now I do forget shape buffer count. It's initialized in here. Yep. Let's see if that runs. Some type issues. Text examples. I don't think I'm using that at all. References. Nothing. So we can delete. Unknown type. There we go. Yeah. True. So maybe let's remove that. But that should still work. Incompatible pointer types. Bool. Struct state car. Ah. So we add our style. And oh, too few. Right. Font ID, I'm just going to go with 0 for now. Width, 800. Size. Smaller. Layout, LTR. And then we give the style. Let's see. Okay, something, it didn't crash. The shape count is 700, which is decent, pretty good. Looks like there was no issues. Shape. Oh, okay. So the indexes look fine, but the offsets are all wrong. So let's find out why. The first offset is 0. That's true. Oh. Oh, that's no good. So it seems like we are immediately line breaking. Int minimum. Make it make sense. Int minimum, really? So we start everything at 0. The max width is completely wrong. That's interesting. Why is that? Max. It's 800 divided by 0. Yeah. And why is that? I never said it. Right. So I did this. Did I really never set it? Font render. For each size. No. So I guess I just put it there. Font size I equals the same. Or I just skip the middleman. Why is this a float? Because that is a float. I don't really want it to be a float. I don't want to render half font sizes. So I would probably rather why is it not complaining? I would rather do this than here do a F32 cast. So in, what is it, alphabet? Now these can all be even floats. That's fine. I'm just going to cast it to an I32. Good. F32. No. I32. I know why. It's the typical header alphabet header render. That's much better. So the width is still wrong. I see what's going on. Font. What was it again? Shape. It's not this. Stir size. It's style size. Yep. Let's try it out. Yeah, the scale is also 0. Finished. That's good. That's good. And that's good. Now this shape is way better. And these are in pixels, as you can see, because I set it to be maximum 800 pixels, and then it wraps before it reaches that. So we are pretty close. I do need to create the buffers. See, VBOID. Oh no. Do I have the font? For the size, let's see, buffer IDs. It's font. $256. What was his ID again? I completely forget. string glyphs. So what was it? Font EFX. And it's a void, of course. Size. Makes sense. Why are there multiple? Oh, texture ID. So it's the same FX texture ID. UB. Where's this coming from? Forget about this one. But that's the real. I need to rename this thing. So FX. Shape. Count. String shape. Is it the same? Really? Okay. Font GFX. Shape count. Great. Great. I was hoping. Oh, my eye. Okay. Let's see. Alphabet. ID count in font. Glyph count. Glyph ID. It's going to be a lot of that. Okay. Let's see where we crash. Out of bounds. Well, let's see how much time. I only really realistically have half an hour left. Mixture get. So let's try to print something again. Does that work? Where do you crash? There you crash it. Why are you crashing? Uh-huh. I don't think that's accurate. I guess we're gonna have to check that out. Okay. That seems to work. So which font, right? So we're having our font graphics. We are looking at okay. FX. I see. This is complete nonsense. Okay. And it's probably for the same reason that I was doing something dumb before. Yeah, much better. And that's no issue. We get an ID. This ID is going nowhere. So where is this ID going? No. I need to store it somewhere to draw. I guess I can just look what it is. 2. So could I, in my OpenGL, mesh? Actually, does it just work? Hey, it just works. Well, this thing, that's funny. Yeah, that just works. Now, if I go to the game, look at that. And I can also change to the second one. And that's not the second one. Why? Did I just run it too fast? Yes, I just ran it too fast. Okay. So, yeah. I still need to store this ID somewhere to keep track of it, this mesh ID. But when I'm creating it, I'm just like pushing another one on the stack. And if we go here, you can see that I have a mesh count. I'm just incrementing that. And that's why it just kind of works. But of course, I need to track that so that I can create new things and delete them and, you know, manage all of that memory. But that is exactly what I wanted to get done today. Now, it was kind of a lot of just like cleanup from the code that I had made before. I'm just kind of rewriting the same thing and trying to remember what I wrote. And I am wondering if there's a better way. Because obviously I don't know the code. If I knew the code that I was going to write, I would just write it. That's why I'm, you know, trying to figure out I'm solving the problem, and then I'm trying to use it, and then I'm trying to generalize it, and then I'm writing the kind of like final way of how I would like to use it. And by that point, like it's almost like 4 rewrites, and it just kind of takes a lot of time. And especially when it's something so complicated, it also is a little bit hairy and dicey to work with. But this does seem like it's pretty close to the final way I want to do it. Now obviously this is, I don't want to do this, you know, make sure that it's the right JSON. But yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty close to what I want to achieve with the text. Now obviously I wouldn't want to refer to every string in the game like this. I would have something like intro, and then like I just get that as a token, and I sorry, I'm getting hungry. I would do the JSON tokenization thing. So I tokenize the entire thing. I grab the array that I'm interested in, and then I grab all of the entries into the array, and then I can, you know, use those. So that's getting closer to what I want to use. Now, obviously, this is still literally just, you know, writing some text on the screen. When I actually want to create a button, or I want to have a text box, or I'm, you know, I need to write some, like print something for the UI, then that's going to be, that's the like real test for if this is a good method or if I need to do another rewrite again. But at least it seems like it's pretty performant, you know, like literally it opens up immediately. It's basically as fast as OpenGL can open. It's no like half a second delay to parse all of the text. Now, given there's not a lot of text, but it's still a lot of things that I'm doing. So I would like to get this done soonish so that I can start writing some UI. And then when I have the UI and I have, you know, for example, the text is centered or aligned on one of the corners. So you can imagine this is our box, right? So you can align to one of the four corners, or you can have a center align to one of the edges, the top, middle, bottom edge, right? So when I get to that, then I'll know. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope that wasn't too many pauses. And yeah, I'll see you next time.